The Honorable D. Nalitha Butterfield has served within 7 cabinet ministries in the Bermuda Parliament, and she has a lot of achievements from protecting the environment to education. Those are just some of her many accomplishments. She's here to have a chat with us now, and we welcome her to Jamaica and to Smile Jamaica. It's morning time. Good morning.
Good morning.
Morning, ma'am.
And thank you so much. It's such an honor to be here.
It's our
I'm
pleasure.
almost pinching myself. It's unbelievable to meet both of you in person.
It's our pleasure.
Yes.
You were having a chat with Neville before
Yes.
about your name, which tells us you have a good Jamaican connection.
That's right, yes.
Tell us about the name.
My mother named me after Nalitha Fraser, she was, and it was the Spring family that came from out of Runaway Bay, Salem area. So I said, oh my goodness, she lived to be 100 and something, and every time she had a birthday, people would come and wish me a happy birthday because they didn't know her name. I didn't know that I had
That was the
that was me.
Nilita.
So my birthday was in October, hers was in March, and she lived to be 100 and something years old. And I am just so thankful that I didn't shame her name. You know, sometimes you could be named after a very special person, so I'm thankful for that. So it's a very unusual name, Nalitha,
But you
but
have
Jamaican.
You have a strong connection with Jamaica, and
Yes.
and I think today is the anniversary
Yes.
of you being given
Permanent residency.
permanent residency
Yes.
in Jamaica.
I've been coming I came in 1990 under the auspices of a young lady who was a member of parliament, Portia Simpson. And so
Okay.
I kept coming back, and then there was a young lady, I'm not sure if she's still a member of parliament. Do you remember Diane Abbott? She was
Yeah,
supposed to
yeah.
be
In
one
the
of the
UK.
speakers for the PNP women's movement, and she couldn't make it, so they said, call Nalitha. So there's Dame Lois Brown Evans. She was the opposition leader, and she says, well, look, let's send Nalitha. She's a senator, and we want to get her all prepped up to be a member of parliament. And here I come back again. And then again, years later, the PNP women's movement is having another function, send Nalitha from Bermuda. So this is where I really fell in love with Jamaica. Michael Manley was here at the time, but he was very ill, and they drove us from Kingston to Montego Bay. Was it Sunsplash? And I said, oh, this is heaven. Such a wonderful place. And over the years, I just kept coming backwards and forwards. And as well, it's not just supporting the PNP women's movement, but also in the past few years, I've been very friendly with some of the women in the JLP, which would be Olivia Grange, because of course I was the Minister of Culture, and also my Member of Parliament, Shahini Robinson.
Yes.
So it's both sides, and I've always been taught in politics is that you may think that we're debating and arguing, but we're the best of friends, regardless of what side of the fence that you are on. So I've had a wonderful experience, and now that I am residing in Jamaica, I decided to write my memoirs.
Yes.
The reason for my memoirs is because at my school, I do have a private school for students at risk, and in the past few years, they've been coming in, and I'm saying, well, do you know me? You know, because most people know someone, especially your students in school would know their member of parliament. And they didn't. So I decided, listen, if they don't know me, then my grandchildren's not going to know what I've done. So I decided to write books in Jamaica.
Yesterday, I was reading an article about gender parity.
Yes.
And about percentages in government and the need to have more women.
Yes.
As a woman in politics in Bermuda, what are your views on that? What difference do you think women really make?
Well, when I first came up in politics, I said, if there's something wrong with me, I want a woman to understand when it comes to breast cancer or cervical cancer, and who's going to get up in parliament so that we can change the laws? No one better than a woman to do that. I'm not saying that a man cannot do it, but it's good for us to speak up for the things that happen to us throughout our lives and throughout the community. The gender still happens. I lost my seat, not my parliamentary seat, but you know how not infighting, but you understand that there are those who want to be in parliament, so they do anything to get in parliament. So like Portia Simpson and others women, we are kicked out through others running against us. So it was in 2011. I was ousted out, and that was fine because I found my purpose.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's how you accept it.
But hasn't that changed, ma'am? We're seeing leaders, countries are women.
Yes,
We're seeing
yes, we have seen. We've had 3 Dame Jennifer Smith, Paula Cox, and Dame Pamela Gordon.
Yeah.
And so we've had 3. But at the same time, the numbers for women are down. I'm surprised you not ask me, how do we get women to run in politics? And I always say it's an easy solution. We're always saying mentor women, make sure that they are prepared to do this. And this is my opinion now, and I believe that the only way to have equality when it comes to politics is for the men to give up some of their seats. That's very important. You've got to be able to say, listen, I was asked to run through my former party leader, the late Frederick Wade. He found out that I was a hard-working person in the community. He said, we need people like you to come and come into politics. And I said, listen here, I may run, but if I don't win, I don't think I'm good to run again. So in 1993, he put me forward. He wanted to put me in a safe seat, and I believe that's a good thing. But I wanted to run in my own district. And that district was held by the United Bermuda Party for over 30 years. He says, now, Letha, you're not going to win that seat. I said, well, listen, let me give it a go. So in 1993, I lost by 157 votes. He put me in the Senate, and that got my profile out. So I was in the Senate for 5 years, ran in 1998. I lost by 157. I went and looked for each one of those persons. And they said, well, how did you know we didn't vote for you? I said, I had a list of names there. And if you didn't show up, I knew it. So I went and visited those 157 people before the election in 1998. And I said, could you do me a favor? Come out and vote for me. And please come out early, 8 o'clock in the morning, because we have a thing in Bermuda, that bottom of the barrel, where all the votes are there. And when I first ran, my brother Roger would say, you got this, you're leading. But at the bottom of the barrel,
something comes.
That was it. So I said, could you come out early, 8 o'clock in the morning? So my brother says to me, you think you got this one, 1998? I was leading like I was the horse way out there. And I said, yep, all those people are down at the bottom of the barrel. You learn lessons.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it was an outstanding win for after 30 years.
Yes. You want to talk about your books?
Yes, tell me about your
Okay. Speeches for the Soul, you will find that this is all of my speeches, not all of them, but up to the year 2012. And one of them I love is Am I My Brother's Keeper? And that was written in 1991 to talk about the at-risk students, especially young black males who couldn't find jobs. A lot of women's things in here that you would like to hear about. And so this is that one. I remember sending the 1991 Am I Brother's Keeper to my grandson. And I said, Nana, are you sure I wasn't born in 1991? But I can't find a job. So it was almost like,
it still relates and still resonates.
This one here is
the soul of a community leader.
This is most of my work as a cabinet minister. You did mention 7 ministries.
Yes.
And yes, every time I did well. And the one that I loved the best was the Minister of Education. I was only there for 8 weeks. And so they put me on to environment, telecommunications, and e-commerce. I became the Minister of Outer Space, Inner Space, and Cyberspace.
Political beginnings.
This is my political beginnings, and this is how it all started. And you will find a lot of my writings in here when I came to visit Jamaica as well. This is a good seller. It's now on Amazon. This is about 17 black women who trailblazed Bermuda.
Wow.
Very difficult book to write. So I say to individuals that if you have information, please write about it. And these 17 women have done tremendous work. And I used to go, because I taught in the prisons, and I didn't even know that some of these women taught in the prisons
as well.
And just like we researched through Google, I had to do a lot of research and to even find pictures. Why would you not have a picture of a principal of a school? And so we've done this. And this is my workshops for the soul, all of the workshops that I've done. And this is one that will be released. It's on all on Amazon.com. And this one here will be released, book signing in Bermuda, so I'm going back home.
Yes. Yeah.
This is about my life in prison.
Yeah.
20 years of teaching those that were incarcerated.
So everyone can go onto Amazon
Yes.
and look out for these
and
books,
look out
and they're
for these.
available.
It's nice to buy on Amazon because
Yeah.
if you buy on Bermuda, the books cost more,
More.
because of the transportation and the freight.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Great to have met you, ma'am. And
Yes.
Thank you so much for coming in. I
And
hope
thank
that
you
this
so
year will be
much.
fantastic.
And you did ask me about my future for Jamaica, and it's to complete my next books, the Student Essays for the Soul. And also, I got to do something. I got to volunteer my services, and I would love to assist some students or some individuals that would love to go to school. So I'm going to be working on a foundation for that.
Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you.
The Honourable D. Nelitha Butterfield, author, former Member of Parliament of Bermuda, and Jamaican.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. All right.
Coming up, we meet a young man who found a bag of money, and guess what he did? He gave it back.
Every single cent.
Going to be an honor to speak with him. Please stay with us.
Soon come.